I thought I'd try a different technique. We're in for Sod here. We're on page Kaf Ches in the Otzos Chaim, and we're going to begin to number 9. Now, I thought that what I would try to do this time, a little bit different, is I'm going to just read the top, that is the Rav himself. Let me see if we have more time. We'll go back into the Tiv. Now, the reason why I was thinking of doing that is because perspective is really important. So when we're reading it and we're getting really specific about it, there's no fancy ways to do this, to learn this material. But if I read the top part completely from the beginning of the parak till the end of the parak, we'll have an idea of what the subject is and what the Rav is going to say, and then we can get into the details and repeat it again in the Tiv. So I'm going to try that. So we're on number 9, and so we could go through number 9 through the end of the parak, which is a couple of pages. Shouldn't take that long. We'll get an idea, an overview of what the Rav is saying. So listen, number tes. He said, "V'hischaver oros hapnimim im oros hamekivim torchapeh." So we said that we had lights that were coming from the right side, lights are coming from the left side. We'll see how that works out. They wind up coming into the mouth, not just out of the ears and the nose. So now when they come out, they're tied together. They strike and they bang into each other. Umebein alkohos and mibein alkohos, and between the strikings, shalachem misyale the bias bechinas kli. So this is a fact that the Rav tells us. I'm not sure that I understand why it is that two opposite forces, they're the same species, they're both lights. But why it is that the banging of these two different types of lights, right side light, left side light, winding up in the mouth, why should that produce kalim? But it does. That's what he says. So therefore, this place is called mouth. Why? Ki peh is a gematria of sag and 22 letters. What's the letters got to do with it? So let's go on. So what happens is at these lights, try to look into it a little bit more deeply. He says that the banging the lights together causes kalim. Now he says that the kalim are actually letters. So somehow they produce some kind of a structure as a result of this banging. So he says you can find this in Sefer Yetzirah, as we know, and the Eitz Chaim, Tikkun Hanuk, Perik Beis, Ivadachain, Nirmaz B'Peh Shem Sag. So therefore we know that these are lights that are coming from the concept of Sag. Again, Sag is letters, Yud Vav Daled K Yud, Vav Aleph Vav K Yud, spells the number Sag plus 22 letters of the Hebrew alphabet. So that's 85. The Ramaz Amashon is Chadish b'makom hazen, and this is a remez, a hint, or call it a hint right now, an allusion to the fact that something new is coming out of here in the mouth. Haza inyan avaisa kalim shenis galsa bekan. And now you have the revelation of kalim, of vessels that can hold light. Ayidei the kaf base osius through these 22 letters. So somehow the banging produces. What are letters? Letters are lines of different kinds of circles and forms and different combinations of these things. This happens as a result of this striking. Now we say like this. Now the lights themselves, talking about the lights, there are 10 lights which are lights that are called pnimim, and 10 lights that are called makifim, which are surrounding lights. And then panim, and they come down opposite the face. Ad hatibur shel adam, so they come out of the mouth, cross the front of the face, and they wind up down into the navel of this man, this middle section. That's the main place where this light exists. But it's not the same, just as we had learned previously, it also shines to the sides. Because Savivas Adam al Canal, just like we had said previously about the lights of the ears and lights of the nose. So we have the same kind of concept here. So he says like this, in other words, there's a glow all around. The closer you are to the face, then obviously the light is going to be greater, and the further you are to the back, then it's going to be the darker part of the light. Or in the ozen, in the ear, and in the nose, there were only two different kinds of light. And there are the lights which we call panimim, and the lights which we call makifim, which is the surrounding lights of Okan bepeh. But here the but here we got a double. We get the double of what we had before, which are really two lights, but they actually become four. Because now we have this new concept of this banging. The lights meet, and when they meet, this produces something called kalim that can hold these lights. And he said, and so that the lights also get doubled in the secret of panimi and makif. So you have kalim, besod, panimi, bechitzon. So that's the four. You have lights and you have kalim. Those are two things. But each one of them has two parts. The lights are called panimim and makifim, and the kalim are called panimim and kitzonim. So now these four different aspects, this is the same thing as we said before, that there are four olives that appear in the mouth, that we saw in Shartanta. So these lights were originally in the nose. There's this light that we described over there in Shartanta that came out of the nose. Well, over here they're coming back. There's some element of them that are coming into the mouth, and he said, they spread through the inside of this man, and they come out through his mouth. Number Tessayin. Now we have two different forms that we had said before, and he's going to explain them here. One is called the Yud Vav Yud, and the other one is the Yud Vav Dal. There's two different ways to write an Aleph, he says. So Yud Vav Yud, which is their form is in the form like that, a Yud up above, a diagonal Vav, and then a Yud down below. Heim Panimi Umakif. They represent the lights which are called Panimi Umakif. V'shnei alafim shetziyurim Yud Vav Dalim heim shtei bechinas hakelim. They present the two different aspects of the kelim. Panimi v'chitzon. One is panimi, one is chitzon. So now you see there are four olives. One olive, which is Yud Vav Yud, refers to the panimi, the light that's on the inside. The other one, which is Yud Vav Yud, is called the light, which is the makif, which is surrounding light. Now we're going to get further definitions of this as we go on. We'll see how they work. Then we have the kalim. The kalim have two different lights, which are represented by the letter aleph. Aleph, which is a Yud, Vav, and a Dalet at the bottom. And that represents the panimi, the light of the kli, panimi. And then there's the chitzonius of the kli, the outside of the kli, which is also a Yud, Vav, Dalet. Ve'elo the Dalet bechinos, we're now on number Yud Zion. He says these four bechinos, heim atzman bechinos beis aznayim, they themselves are the aspects of the two ears, ubebeis nikvei achoitim, and the two different openings of the nose. Shenis galo kan beped. Now these things are the same kind of lights, but now they're revealed in the mouth. Because from the light that went out of the oar, but it's on the ear rather, but it's inside of Adon Kadmon, some remnant of it still comes down into the mouth, besod or makif. So that's out of the right ear. So he says, let me read it again. Ki min ha'ozen yamin, for the right ear. Nimshach or v'yotza derek ha'peh besod or makif, in the secret of a surrounding light. L'mechotem yamim nimshach or v'yotza derek ha'peh. So in the right nose, the right nostril opening, let's say, there is also light running through the inside of Ak, which comes out through the mouth, and it's called an or panimi. Min ozen small. Now moving to the left, we see the left ear, the light that came out of the left ear. There is some of it which is still inside of Ak, and it comes down and it goes into the mouth. Nimshach v'nazeh b'chinas chitzonius kli. This makes the chitzonius of the kli b'chutz lepeh, when it comes out of the mouth. Umechoitim small, and the left nostril, nimshach v'na'asa penimius a kli. That's where the penimius of the kli comes out. Because these four different aspects, which again are represented by four different ways, that we have four different aleph, rather, two different ways to spell the aleph. Because these all come into the mouth. In the mouth, yesh bechinas hevel, bechinas dibur. So we have different things in there. We have a concept of hevel, which is, hevel is breath, but it's more like, I use the word vapor. So it's like a vapor. It's something that's air quality. Then there's something called dibur, which is more refined. Or the hevel, which is very like hevel, kind of hevel. So it's like very airy. It's very, very ethereal. So therefore, that represents the concept of the light. Dibur, which is more refined, more concentrated, more split into different parts. Dibur is bechinas a kli. So we see the kli. This is a concept here, a little bit of a concept of a differentiation between something which is more physical, because more physical is more defined. So therefore, we see that dibur, which is more defined than just the breath that. So it's like this: as I speak, I have breath coming out, right? The breath, but the breath is defined and formed up in the form of dibur. Now listen to this. He says in the upper part of the mouth, the upper cheek, he calls it lechi. He says, V'hine yesh b'peh hevel v'dibur elyonim b'lechia elyon. In the upper part of the mouth, then you're going to see that there is these two mix. V'hevel v'dibur b'tachton b'lechia tachton. And in the lower part of the mouth, then you're going to see that there is also a mixture of these two. Nimsikir hevel elyon. So it comes out like this. The upper hevel, we're just talking about breath now, or vapor, or makif, that's going to be the surrounding light. V'hatachton hu or panimi, and the lower mixture of the light is going to be called the or panimi. But dibur elyon, now the dibur elyon, which is again same thing. He's saying inside the mouth you have two different levels. You have a level up here, and you have a level down here. So the level down up above for when speaking, and the more defined part of it. Is the dibur ha'elyon will be the chitzonis of the kli. He calls it the kli chitzon. V'ratachton hu kli panimi, and then the lower part of the mouth is going to be the interior part of a kli. V'ha'or shehem havalim, so the lights, which we have called the havalim, heim biyamin ha'peh, they're on the right side of the mouth. V'hadiburim shehem ha'kelim, and then the words, which are words themselves. Slipping here, and the words themselves, which are the vessels, small hapeh. So now we have the concept of right and left. Again, left more physical, and right is more ethereal. So we see which is more refined, which is less refined, which is more defined, which is less defined, and like that. That's a share for today.